Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk briefly about social emotional behavioral development in early childhood. Um, I know some of you have been asking about this subject, and so I thought I would put together a little presentation for you. So the first slide we're going to talk about is emotional development. They tend to keep a few close friends and people in their lives while making new circles of trusted adults. They begin to use more complex language to understand themselves and others. Their self-esteem is bursting and the world revolves around them, which I know we've all seen that. And they start to use control to express emotions, but still need guidance and reassurance. So how can we help foster positive emotional development in children? Teaching negotiating and compromising skills, teach coping skills to express appropriate emotions, provide opportunities for children to play together, teach empathy, modeling caring for others, making them feel safe, secure, and comfortable in their learning environment, and let children become more independent. Most of the time, we will need to help coach these kiddos to verbally express their emotions and feelings. For some children, this may be being right there to assist them and teach them negotiating skills for different situations, using words and solutions for them. So being right there to help them with that. Another way to do that would be engaging them in group discussions and role playing. They can resolve or negotiate problems a little bit better if you talk about how to do that. A great tool that we use here at school is Second Steps. And that's a whole nother presentation that I could do just on Second Steps. So if you see teachers using it, pay attention. That's kind of how they teach their behavioral and emotional and social development skills. Next is social development. Early childhood kiddos use a wider range of vocabulary when understanding concern for others. Their cooperative play is more complex and engaging. It establishes and maintains friendships with other children, and they're able to express feelings more verbally now. Some things we can do to help foster positive social development in children is set clear limits, support teachers' classroom rules. Don't go in and make new rules or expect the children to abide by your rules. Let's try to keep to what the teacher is teaching for her rules. Always find a way to praise a child more than you try to correct them. Back when I was teaching Head Start, I had a supervisor that always told me, well, she only told me once, but to every negative that you give a child, you should give them 100 positives. And that's always just stuck with me. So we can teach children to express their feelings verbally. We engage children in group discussions and role playing. Read books on conflict resolution and cooperation. When they ask a question about understanding their world, take the time to answer them. Don't just assume that if you say a short little answer to their question that they're going to be satisfied with that. We need to take time and explain things to them a little better. So as they become more aware and independent of their world, they are becoming more verbal and able to think about others and self-aware of others' point of view. So they're kind of understanding, oh yeah, his idea is just as good as mine, so why not work together? They move from parallel play to more advanced play like associative and cooperative play. In associative play, that is where each child participates separately in an activity, but with the cooperation and assistance of others. So maybe a teacher is there to provide either a role model status or just a guidance on what to do next. And then cooperative play is more when the children are working together and able to come up with a solution and a common goal. Early social development is a complex, and they're very closely related to other areas of development such as cognitive, physical, emotional, linguistic, and aesthetic. And of course, our cognitive is our thinking process, physical is how we move, emotional is how we cope with things, linguistic is how our language, and aesthetic is visual and hands-on learning. The NAEYC, the National Association for Education of Young Children, emphasizes that children need socialization and development of social skills because it's a vital part of their early childhood education. I'm just going to read a brief description by NAEYC about social play. Development and learning occur in and are influenced by multiple social and cultural contexts. Children are active learners, drawing on direct physical and social experiences as well as culturally transmitted knowledge to construct their own understandings of the world around them. Development and learning result from an interaction of biological maturation and the environment, which includes both the physical and social worlds that children live in. Play is an important vehicle for children's social, emotional, and cognitive development, as well as a reflection of their development. Children develop and learn best in the context of a community where they feel safe, valued, and their physical needs are met, and when they feel psychologically secure. So as you can see, socialization is intertwined with all of these stages of development and it's important for fostering a positive, healthy child. Moving on to behavioral development. Children at this age will engage in activities more independently. They will start to show more interest in helping out around the classroom or the house. They test our limits and boundaries, take greater risks, and start using better strategies to resolve conflicts. So how can we help foster positive behavioral development in children? Acknowledge and encourage children's efforts and accomplishments using real feedback. Provide time, materials, and support for children to engage in many kinds of play. Help boost their self-confidence and self-esteem. Provide reminders about what's appropriate behavior and what's expected of them. Foster self-regulation and focus on their strengths. So sometimes in early childhood, it's a little tricky concept to teach a young child behavioral development. Don't expect too much too soon. 5-year-olds may fall back on behaviors like temper tantrums or meltdowns. And sometimes it's best to just ignore them and let them get over it unless they're hurting themselves or someone else. If the tantrums do become a problem, we can always try and remove them from that situation, or try and talk to them and talk them down a little bit. And there might be some underlying causes. Are they tired? Are they hungry? Are they uncomfortable? I've even seen some children that don't really have a behavioral issue, but if their tag is sticking back out on their shirt, or their socks are bunched up in their shoes, or their pants are too tight, or they're hungry, those are some triggers sometimes that, they get to that point that they just can't take anymore and they lash out. So, but we also need to remember that the less we negatively react to that tantrum, the less the tantrum will escalate. So, and we need to be clear about what's accepted at school. Hitting or other physical aggressions and speaking to us in a disrespectful tone. That's just bottom line. That's not accepted. And of course, at our school, what's our #1 rule? Keep our hands and our feet to ourselves. So, teaching children different coping strategies so they can learn to calm down on their own in a positive manners. So here's a few ideas. Have them take a break from the situation. I kind of mentioned that earlier. Sometimes this needs to be teacher directed to let them know that it's okay to walk away from that situation by moving to the different part of the classroom or the playground. Find a way to get their anger out safely, whether it's drawing, doing a physical activity, dancing, maybe even just going outside and letting them run, or throw a ball to the wall or something. And then there may need to be a teacher or para-directed situation where the teacher is actually or the para is actually being the facilitator in the conflict. So basically getting their minds off the negative situation and turning it into something positive. On the next slide is a short video about teaching emotions and adjectives to describe your emotions. Just something a little fun I thought you guys might enjoy. So I will move to that real quick. And I'll let it stay up for a minute. You should be able to click on the screen and there should be a play button come up at the bottom. And then the next page is my references. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or let me know. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.